Ross, good morning. How are you?
I'm lovely, Adam. How are you?
I'm very well. You're looking lovely today.
You are looking ravishing also.
Let's take a look at the headlines.
Let's do that.
We got reports that NXT is moving to Tuesday nights. A pitch for Andrade has been turned down by WWE management. And a WWE Raw star is working injured. We'll tell you more in a bit. So kicking things off with the news that NXT is reportedly moving to Tuesday nights. This was revealed on the Mat Men Pro Wrestling podcast, which is a part of the Wrestling Observer website family, saying that it's going from Wednesday to Tuesday nights. The Wednesday night war is over.
Was there a Wednesday night war to begin with? I'm asking the question. On a really selfish note, Adam, I am happy at this decision because finally I will actually have time to watch NXT before the Cultaholic Wrestling podcast, which is recorded every Thursday. But obviously this adds fuel to the fire for people who support NXT and support AEW like football teams rather than wrestling promotions, because this, depending on your context, it's a failure on NXT's part, but I just think it's good for pro wrestling as a whole. More people will be watching NXT on a Tuesday, more people watching AEW on a Wednesday because they're not in direct competition. What say you?
I agree. Totally. Yeah, no, totally. It's quite frustrating, actually, as a wrestling fan and as a fan who wants to watch both shows. And it would be great to watch both shows live as well. It's really frustrating when there's a great card there and there's a great card there. And it's not quite the same watching it on demand, is it? You want to watch it live. You want to join in on Twitter and all that stuff. So, yeah, I agree. I think it's really it's great news for wrestling fans. It'll be interesting to see how this affects Impact Wrestling, who obviously broadcast on Tuesday. They're the ones that I feel sorry for in this situation.
You would feel like that's going to hamper them pretty drastically, you would assume. But again, maybe not. You never know if AEW keeps sending over talent to Impact every Tuesday. Maybe that'll stop the rot, so to speak. But who knows what'll happen? Who knows? Anything's possible in the World Wrestling Federation.
Next up, just a quick one. A change has been made to tonight's stacked AEW Dynamite lineup. A new match has been announced. Matt Hardy and Mark Quinn teaming against Adam Page and John Silver. This is, of course, ahead of Matt Hardy versus Adam Page on Sunday night. This is replacing a planned bout between Dark Order and Private Party and TH2.
Yes, it is, Adam. We're building up to the big money match on Sunday where the winner between Adam Hangman Page and Matt Hardy gets the others' quarterly earnings for the first quarter of 2021. Huge stakes on the line here, but one fantastic match on paper is getting replaced by another fantastic match on paper. I don't quite know what to say to you.
There you go. Also on the show tonight, some big stuff happening. We got the big tag match, Shaquille O'Neal making his AEW in-ring debut.
Opening the night, by the way.
Is it really?
Opening the card tonight,
there you go. We got the in-ring return of Tully Blanchard, the Women's Eliminator Finals, and... Big show. Paul White's making his AEW debut. He's not wrestling tonight, but he'll be there live in person. And he's bloody massive. Next up, Andrade has not been seen on WWE TV for quite a while now, and it's a damn shame. Charlotte Flair speaking, talking to TV Insider, that she's previously pitched that the two actually work together on screen, but that was shot down by WWE Creative. When she was asked if she was willing to do something on camera with her fella, she said, "I've actually pitched that. I'd be very much open to that. I've done a lot in my career, but nobody has seen me in an on-cam relationship or in that light. I can come across cold on TV."
You don't say, Charlotte.
Maybe a little bit. You know what? I'd really, really like to have seen this. I'm not like... Andrade is a guy who is almost the total package. I think he's got a great look. I think he's a great in-ring talent, but he obviously can't really cut a promo. His English is improving massively. But when he was Zelina, that was great. That was a great partnership. She did the talking for him. He backed it up in the ring, and I think he is somebody that still, at this point, does need somebody talking for him.
Yeah, it's not really his fault, is it, that he came from somewhere else where that's not his English isn't his native tongue. But I'm reacting to this with a bit of, confliction, really, because on one hand, it would be fantastic to see Andrade in such a prominent role, which would happen if he was aligned with Charlotte Flair. But on the other hand, I can't help but think back to the days of Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. And didn't you know, Adam, that Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch are in a relationship? They used to,
What?
I'll just repeat it once again because they used to say it about 3 million times every single show that Seth and Becky were on. And I would just be afraid that they would do something similar with Andrade and Charlotte, because Charlotte isn't as liked, let's say, as Becky and Seth. Well, at the time, I guess that might be a bit more annoying and give more people reasons to hate Charlotte, which they already have enough of, don't they? It's a weird one, isn't it? But I'm sure they could make it work. Surely,
I think they could. It's weird that they even had to mention that Seth and Becky were in a relationship, because their on-screen chemistry was unbelievable. Why did they even? You know what? But I think it would work if they, if they hate Charlotte Flair, just make them a heel team, a heel partnership on TV, and that's where Andrade is best as well. We haven't seen Andrade on WWE TV since October. I would have thought, right, with Charlotte Flair being there and being his partner, she could have just like helped him out a little, or just said, "Can you get him on the telly, please?"
Yes.
I'm surprised.
I think he's been dealing with an injury, hasn't he? Because he's been doing that stuff on Instagram about rebuilding Andrade, and he's been shooting stuff inside a ring, showing him training once again and stuff. So maybe the injury is setting back a little bit, but it does seem that they have no plans for him and Angel Garza as well. That's another sad case on Monday night. The second coming of Eddie Guerrero. I don't care what anybody says. That's what I'm saying when I see Angel Garza. But yeah, it's weird because this time last year, those two, and Austin Theory and Zelina Vega and whoever else was part of that stable, they were literally everything to do with Monday Night Raw heading into the lockdown era last spring, but now they're just nowhere to be seen. Any of them, well, Austin Theory's in NXT, but there you go.
Next up, we got news of an injured NXT star. Think back to last week's NXT and the horrible attack by the grizzled young veterans on MSK.
Say that properly, Adam. Come on, say that properly.
Go on, you do it.
Grizzled young veterans. I don't know why he says it like
Scouse?
that. But he does that funny thing with the G, doesn't he? Grizzled. Just from the back of the throat.
We've got a real Scouse listening in on this call, about to edit this video, and he's not a happy boy. Owen, apologies for Ross there. There's a reason that happened, that attack happened. It is to give him a bit of time, essentially. Wes Lee is currently injured, and he's dealing with a broken hand. Meltzer saying, Wes Lee did have a broken hand. He got it in the tag team match with the Grizzled Young Vets on the TakeOver show on one of his dives. That's why there's no tag team match with Lorcan and Birch against MSK. That was originally scheduled for Wednesday's show because he's hurt. The injury angle that they did on TV last week was to cover up for a real injury. So hopefully he gets well soon. The recovery time on this should be about a month, 2 months. So he shouldn't be gone for too long, but we send him our best. And another injury story just to finish things off. And it's Mustafa Ali. I can't get used to it. I've been saying Mustafa Ali for so long, and now I want to get it right.
He corrected everybody on Raw Talk a little while ago. Yeah, it's not Mustafa Ali like I've been saying for so many years on this channel. It's Mustafa Ali. And just say it right, Adam. Okay.
Right. Ali is currently injured, but he's wrestling with the injury at the moment. Ali mentioning on Twitter in a fan Q&A that he's currently wrestling with a torn PCL. When asked by a fan about his biggest frustration and how he adapted to it, Ali replied, "It's right now, actually. Wrestling with a torn PCL is incredibly frustrating. But it looks like he's about to go into a US title feud with Riddle after this week's Raw."
I was going to say, you literally couldn't tell that there's anything wrong with them watching that match. I know it was short with Riddle on this week's Raw, but that middle rope thing they did towards the end of the match that ended it, where they both died a horrible death. I assume they were going for maybe a backstabber, but then you would think surely not with the knees from that height.
I thought it was meant to be like a reverse Hurricane Rana or something, like on the back and then flip him over. It
looked devastating, whatever the hell it was, and surely you shouldn't be doing that if you had a torn PCL. But yeah, you can't tell, and that's just the wrestler mentality, isn't it? You have a limb hanging off, but you go to work anyway.
Yeah, but you'd think the WWE would be a bit more careful.
Yeah,
about it. They don't tend to do that anymore. Anyway, there you go. Sending our best to Ali as well. I'm not going to try and say your first name because I'll balls it up again. Mustafa Ali. There you go. Nailed it. See you in a bit, Ross.
Are you okay?
Yeah.